Hey there everyone. In the previous video we had completed the dorsum of the foot chapter, and in today's video we're going to start with the sole of foot. Okay, sole of foot. So sole of foot, it is homologous to the palm of the hand. Okay, it is homologous to the palm of the hand, but it is modified. Okay, the sole of foot, it is slightly modified as compared to the palm of the hand. The modifications are made to carry body weight, to carry the body weight. Okay, as we all know that our ankle and the tarsal bones and all, they are carrying the body weight. They are helping in carrying the body weight. So for carrying the body weight, there are large tarsal bones. Okay, now the second modification is the arches of the foot are elastic. Okay, they are made elastic for locomotion. Okay, locomotion, and we know that eversion, then plantar flexion, dorsiflexion, inward rotation, external rotation, and all of those. So these are the modifications in the lower limb, that is the sole of the foot, but it is homologous to the palm of the hand. Now we are going to see the skin and the superficial fascia. The skin, it is thick for protection. Okay, for protection as we walk and all. In we can also say that it's on evolutionary basis, because we all knew that shoes and all, they didn't exist back then. So the skin is very thick to protect the internal structures. It is firmly attached to the plantar aponeurosis. Okay, it is attached to the plantar aponeurosis. In this video itself, we shall see what is the plantar aponeurosis. Okay, in the upper limb we had studied the palmar aponeurosis, right? We had studied the palmar aponeurosis, and here we are going to see the plantar aponeurosis. It is creased and it is hairless as well. Okay, now you understand why it is homologous to the palm of the hand, because even that is hairless, even this is hairless. Okay, and that is attached to the palmar aponeurosis, and this is attached to the plantar aponeurosis, and both of them are thick for protection. Okay, now it increases. What does the skin do? It increases the efficiency for gripping and for locomotion. Okay, for gripping and for locomotion. Now we have fascia, right? Skin always comes with fascia, or the fascia always comes with skin. So we have two types, that is the superficial fascia situated superficially, and the deep fascia that is situated deep. Okay, the superficial fascia, it contains the cutaneous nerves, cutaneous vessels, and the deep fascia, we have to remember, it has three contents. Okay, three contents, that is the plantar aponeurosis, ligaments, and the sheaths. Okay, the plantar aponeurosis, ligaments, and the sheaths are the contents of the deep fascia. Remember this. Okay, so let's start with the superficial fascia. The superficial fascia, it is fibrous, dense, very thick. Okay, it is fibrous and it is dense and it is very thick, especially near the weight bearing points. Now where are the weight bearing points? The weight bearing points are the tarsal bones, especially the calcaneum, that is the heel bone. This is the heel bone. Then we have the heads of the metatarsal, all the heads of the metatarsal, and the margins. Okay, the lateral margin, the medial margin, these are the weight bearing points. Okay, weight bearing points. So it is fibrous, it is dense, and very thick, especially near the weight bearing points. Now the fibrous bands bind the superficial fascia to the deep fascia, the plantar aponeurosis. Okay, it binds the fibrous bands, they bind the superficial fascia to the deep fascia, and divides the subcutaneous fats into small tight pockets. Okay, so the presence of fat is also there, so it divides the subcutaneous fat into small tight packets, which act as a water cushions. Okay, which has an effect. Okay, that is a spring effect for the arches of the foot. We will study in the next chapter, that is the arches of the foot, and that shall be the last video for this lower limb, and we'll complete the complete unit. Okay, what do the arches do, or what does the spring effect do? It helps for easy walking. Okay, a person can walk easily, run, jump, and do locomotion and stuff. So this is the reason. The subcutaneous fat, it is packed into small tight pockets which acts as the water cushions or the cushions which provide the spring effect for the arches for easy walking, running, jumping, etc. Okay, so this is the function, or this is the importance of the superficial fascia. The fascia contains, as I already told, it contains the cutaneous nerves and cutaneous vessels like the arteries and veins, and it contains the nerves, right? So we'll see what are the nerves and all. The thick bands of the fascia stretch near roots of toes to form ligaments. Okay, the thick bands, whatever there are there, no, the thick bands of the fascia, they stretch near the roots of the toes to form the ligaments. Okay, to form the ligaments. This can be asked in the MCQ as well. Okay, so this is an important point. So these are known as the superficial transverse metatarsal ligament. Okay, the superficial transverse metatarsal ligament. Now we will see, as we saw that the superficial fascia, it contains the cutaneous nerves and vessels. Let us see what are the nerves. Okay, the cutaneous nerve supplied to the sole of foot, it is supplied by 3 nerves. Okay, the medial calcaneal branch of the tibial nerve. Okay, the tibial nerve, it is important. Okay, the tibial nerve, medial calcaneal branch of the tibial nerve, the posterior and medial portions, the medial plantar nerve and branches, and the lateral plantar nerve and branches. Okay, the sole of foot, the deep fascia contains the plantar aponeurosis, right? So we mostly, the muscles, the vessels, the nerves, they are named with the plantar. Okay, so remember it. We have the medial side, we have the medial plantar nerve and its branches, and towards the lateral side we have the lateral plantar nerve and its branches. So the medial plantar nerve and its branches, they are situated in the anterior medial portion with the medial 3/3 of the toes. Okay, we have 5 toes, right? So divided into 3/2 and 1/2. Okay, 3/2 and 1/2. The medial plantar supplies the 3/2, 3.5, and the lateral supplies the 1.5. So it is anterior lateral. See, this is anterior medial and this is anterior lateral, with the lateral 1/2 of the toes. Okay, so let us see the regions they are supplying. So this is the medial calcaneal branch of the tibial nerve. So this one is the heel, right? The heel of the toe, the heel of the foot. So this is the medial calcaneal. Calcaneum bone is situated here. So this one is the calcaneum bone, that is the heel bone that I already mentioned earlier. So this is the medial calcaneal branch of the tibial nerve. So we also know that towards the medial side we have the sphenius nerve, and then we have the medial plantar nerve towards the medial side supplying the 3/2 of the toes, and the lateral plantar nerve supplying the 1/2 of the toes, and towards the lateral side towards the base of the first metatarsal, okay, the head of the the 5th metatarsal, we have the sural nerve. Okay, the sural nerve. So the medial calcaneal branch, that is of the tibial nerve, the medial plantar nerve, lateral plantar nerve, sphenius nerve on the medial side, and sural nerve on the lateral side. Okay, so this is about the nerves and its supply region. And also let us see the dermatome. So this is this region, so this complete region is supplied by the S1, that is the sacral. This is supplied by the great toe. Till here it is supplied by the L5, and these 3 toes are supplied by the L4. Okay, now we have completed the superficial fascia. Now we're going to see what is the deep fascia. Okay, now we saw the contents, what are the vessels, what are the arteries, what are the nerves, and it's the region of the supplication. We've seen that. Now the deep fascia, we already know that the contents of the deep fascia are the plantar aponeurosis. Okay, we have the plantar aponeurosis, the ligaments as well, and the fibrous flexor sheaths. Okay, we have the plantar aponeurosis. In the upper limb we had the palmar aponeurosis, and here we have the plantar aponeurosis. We have the ligaments. We know the fibrous bands, they are modified in they stretch at the roots of the toes and they form the ligaments. And the third content of the deep fascia is the fibrous flexor sheath. Okay, the fibrous flexor sheath. Okay, so that is it. And let's see this diagram. So this is the cadaver's sole of foot. So this region is the medial component. This complete region forms the central component, and this one is the lateral component. And let me outline it for you. Wait a minute, let me take this off. Yeah, let me outline this for you. So this oh my god, that is so light. Okay, so this region, this one, whatever you see here, no, the triangular one, so this is forming like this. Okay, the triangular one, whatever you see, this is only called as the plantar aponeurosis. Okay, so this is what is the plantar aponeurosis. So this is the plantar aponeurosis. So now coming to the next diagram. So as I already mentioned in the diagram previously, whatever you see here, this is the plantar aponeurosis. So the muscles we are going to study in the next video. So let us superficially understand what are the muscles. So this is the flexor hallucis longus tendon. Okay, so this is a tendon of a muscle that is connecting. So this is the flexor hallucis longus tendon. So this is the flexor digitorum longus tendon. As we can see, it is going to the great toe, we term it as hallucis, and this is going to all the digits, so we call it as the digitorum. Okay, and this one towards the lateral side, whatever you see here, going to the mini toe. Okay, the mini toe, we name it as the adductor digiti minimi pedis tendon. Okay, such a huge name. Okay, it's abductor, not adductor. Okay, so as I have already mentioned, this is the plantar aponeurosis, and this is the muscle, that is the abductor hallucis, and this is the abductor digiti minimi pedis tendon, and this one is the lateral plantar fascia towards the lateral side. Okay, and this is again the abductor digiti minimi pedis. This is the posterior, tibialis posterior. We have the tibialis anterior, and we also have the tibialis anterior, but this is a tendon. Okay, and this one is the flexor digitorum longus tendon. This is the talus. We know, right, the bones. Okay, the bones, the tarsal bones, and I had already asked you to remember CNT. Okay, Cartoon Network, how you can just create your own mnemonics. So C stands for the calcaneum, N stands for the navicular, and T stands for the talus. So we have the calcaneum and the talus here, and this one is the flexor hallucis longus tendon again. So these are the muscles that I told you superficially, but in depth, the origin, insertion, nerve supply, and actions of the muscles we shall see in the next video. So talking about the plantar aponeurosis, the contents we already know. We have the plantar aponeurosis, we have the ligaments, and we have the fibrous sheaths. Okay, so now the plantar aponeurosis, the deep fascia is thick. Okay, plantar aponeurosis is nothing but the deep fascia. It is thick at the center and thin at the sides. Okay, it is thin at the center and thick at the center and thin at the sides, because the weight bearing location is mostly present at the center. Okay, now what are the features of the plantar aponeurosis? The aponeurosis is triangular in shape. Okay, it is triangular in shape, as I've already told you. See the aponeurosis, it is triangular in shape. Suppose this is forming the base of the triangle, this is forming the apex of the triangle, so this aponeurosis is triangular in shape. Okay, it's the feature. Next feature of this is it is morphologically detached part of the plantaris tendon. Okay, we have the plantaris muscle, the tendon of the plantaris muscle, it is morphologically detached part of the plantaris tendon. Now what are the attachments? So as I've already told you that it has two, the triangle has two what do you call it, it has two sides, or like it has two sides. Okay, it has two sides. This forms the base of the triangle, and this part is the apex of the triangle. So the apex of the triangle attached to the medial tubercle of the calcaneum. Okay, I told you there are three important bones. That is the calcaneum, which is the heel bone, the talus, that is a bone, and also a navicular. So these three are the important tarsal bones. So the apex is attached to the medial tubercle of of the calcaneum, and the base is it divides into 5 bands. So the apex, it is smaller, it is pointed, the apex is smaller and pointed, and it is attached to the medial tubercle of the calcaneum, and the base, it is divided into the 5 bands, and each band has a superficial slip and a deep slip. Okay, the superficial slip merges with the skin of the superficially it merges with the skin, and the deep fascia, it blends with the flexor fibrous sheath. We already told you that we are going to study the ligaments and the sheaths, so it is going to attach with the flexor fibrous sheath. The color looks really beautiful. Okay, now what are the functions of this plantar aponeurosis? It fixes the skin of the sole. Okay, it fixes the skin of the sole. It binds together with the superficial fascia and the deep fascia to make it thicken, and it also helps in protection. I already told, it protects the deeper structures, the deeper vessels, the deeper bones, and the deeper arteries, which are very much important for for supply and locomotion, etc. And it maintains longitudinal arches of the foot. Okay, we are going to see the arches of the foot in, that is the next chapter and probably the last chapter. So we are going to complete the arches of the foot. It maintains the arches, which arches, the longitudinal arches of the foot, and it gives origin to the muscles of the first layer of sole. So see, we have 4 layers, and we have different muscles situated in all the layers of the sole, so we shall see that as well. Now the deep transverse metatarsal ligament, I already had mentioned about this ligament, right? So the fibrous bands, okay, the bands, they divert at the root of the toes to form the ligaments. Which ligament? The deep transverse metatarsal ligament. Okay, these are 4 short flat bands. Okay, these are 4, they are short, they are flat. Okay, they are the bands. They connected to the plantar ligament of the metatarsalo-phalangeal joint. Okay, the metatarsal, so suppose this is the metatarsal and these are the phalanges. Okay, at the level of the metatarsalo-phalangeal joint, collect the plantar ligaments to the metatarsalo-phalangeal joint, and related dorsally to the interossei and ventrally to the lumbricals and digital vessels of the nerves. Okay, you have to remember this. Now we are done with the plantar aponeurosis, the ligaments, that is a deep transverse metatarsal ligament, and the last one is the fibrous flexor sheath. It is made up of deep fascia of the toes. The fibrous flexor sheath, it is made up of deep fascia of the toes. Okay, it is made up of the deep fascia of the toes. The functions are, they retain the flexor tendons in position during the flexion of the toes. Okay, so suppose if there was no sheath, if there was no fibrous flexor sheath, and if you were to flex your toes, then the tendon would move out of the location, the tendon would move out of its place, and it would cause a lot of pain, and that would be really unstable. Okay, that would be so unstable. So this is the fibrous flexor sheath. Okay, the fibrous flexor sheath. This also acts as a retinaculum. Okay, the retinaculum, they retain the tendons of the muscles, that is the reason they are called as the retinaculum. Now about the plantar vessels and the plantar nerves, we are going to study this in the next video. So thank you so much.